Hi everyone, I'll be installing Kubuntu on a separate disk without using a USB drive or DVD. Installing it on a separate disk is great if you want to keep things separate from Windows. Kubuntu is a Linux OS based on Ubuntu, but uses KDE Plasma for the desktop instead of GNOME. It's generally for those that prefer the KDE Plasma desktop and want more control over appearance and behavior, and if you're coming from Windows, you'll probably also feel more comfortable using it over GNOME. So I'm going to download Kubuntu, go to kubuntu.org, and then download. And there's different versions of Kubuntu. There's 25.04, 24.10, and then there's the LTS, long-term support version. And so I want to download the long-term support version as there's security and maintenance updates until April 2027, compared to 24.10 with the security and maintenance updates only until July 2025. And 25.04, it's only until January 2026. So I'm going to download the LTS version. Once downloaded, go into your downloads folder, and I'm going to mount the ISO. So you can hit enter or right click and mount, open, and it's been mounted onto a virtual drive. It's the E drive. And now I'm going to open up disk management. And so in disk management, here is the Kubuntu ISO that has been mounted, and my two disks, disk 0. This is my SSD, and I have Windows on here, and disk 1, which is my NVMe drive, and I'm using it as a data drive, and there's 223 gigabytes on here. So I'm going to be installing Kubuntu onto my second disk here, and I don't need to delete my D drive here. I can just make space for it. And so on my D drive here, I have 141 gigabytes free, so there's more than enough free space. So to install Kubuntu without a USB drive or DVD, I'm going to create a partition which will hold the installation media contents, and I'll use my first disk here. And then once it has been created and everything is installed, and then I'll delete it afterwards. So using my first disk, I'm just going to shrink the C drive to make room, shrink volume, and enter the amount of space to shrink in megabytes. So the ISO image, when it's mounted, it's about 4.22 gigabytes. So I'll do 4,500 megabytes. Shrink. All right, there's the unallocated space. And now I'm going to create a new volume. Next, next. And it's going to be assigning it to the F drive. Next. And file system, FAT32. Volume label. I'll label it as Kubuntu ISO. Next. Finish. All right, it's been created, and going back into Explorer and back on my E drive here, I'm going to select everything, going to copy, go to my F drive and paste. All right, it's been copied over, and going back into disk management, and your BIOS should be able to boot from this partition, the Kubuntu ISO partition, but if not, it may be because it's seen as a basic data partition, and it may need to be seen as an EFI system partition instead. So I'm going to change that. Going to open up this part as administrator, disk part, run as admin, yes, list my disk, and then it's my first disk, disk 0, list partitions, and then it's partition number 5 there, select partition 5, type in help, set ID, scroll up, copy the EFI system partition value in hex, and then type in set ID equals, and then paste, enter. All right, so it's been set, and we see it here, it's also been set, disk management. And now on my separate disk, my D drive here, so I'll shrink my D drive, and I'll set aside 50 gigabytes, or roughly 50,000 megabytes. All right, it's completed. And now I'm going to reboot my computer and go into the BIOS. So in my boot options, I have the Windows Boot Manager. So this will boot Windows. And then the second option here is UEFI OS. And UEFI OS is the Kubuntu installation media. How I know that, if I go back into Windows Open up a command prompt as admin, type in bcdedit /enum space firmware, and can see at the bottom there, seen as partition F, which is the F drive, which was created, and then the description UEFI OS. So I'll need to set it as boot option number 1, and then save changes and exit. If your BIOS has a boot override section as seen here, you can do a one-time boot into it as an option. So I'll just select UEFI OS and then hit enter. All right, it's booted into the installation media partition, and we see try or install Kubuntu, Kubuntu Safe Graphics, OEM install, boot from next volume, UEFI firmware settings. So I'm going to go into try or install Ubuntu. All right, Kubuntu has started, and I got here select your language, internet connection. I have a wired connection, and also as well as I can connect through Wi-Fi. In this install, I'm going to do wired. And when you're ready, just select install Kubuntu. And you can always try it as well, going to try Kubuntu. And if you go into it, it'll go into the live environment. All right, I'm in the live environment. I'm going to close the screen and install Kubuntu. And the installer starts up. Select your language, American English, next. And select your region for your time zone, and then next. Select your keyboard, next. And this is the installation mode. I'm going to do normal installation, web browser utilities, office, software, games, and media players. And for additional options, I'm going to select download and install updates following installation. So this saves time after installation and keeps your system secure. And at the bottom here, it says to install additional third-party packages. You got Element, Virtual Machine Manager, Krita. And if you're not familiar with any of these, that's fine. And of course, you can always install these afterwards. So I'm going to hit next. All right, at the partition screen here, select your storage device. So this is my NVMe drive, and then there's DevSDA, my SSD drive. So I wanted to install it on my 223 gig drive, the NVMe. And so there's 4 options here. And the first option is to install alongside. The installer will shrink a partition to make room for Kubuntu. So if I were to select it, and then at the bottom, this would be my D drive, and then I would be increasing or decreasing it. But of course, I already have free space that I allocated from in Windows. And most importantly, it's going to use the same EFI system partition as in Windows. It's common for it to use the same EFI partition as Windows for the Kubuntu OS boot files, but this can be an issue as Microsoft is known for removing anything not related to Windows in this partition, which would include the Kubuntu OS boot files, and this can happen, for example, after a Windows update. So to avoid this, I'm going to be creating a separate EFI partition just for the Kubuntu boot files. So I'm not going to be using this option. And the second option here is replace a partition, which I don't want to do either. It's going to replace my entire D drive, which I don't want to do. And erase disk, of course, I don't want to do either. So that leaves option number 4, which is manual partitioning. You can create or resize partitions yourself. So I'm going to be selecting this one and then hit next. All right, at the top here of my storage device, just making sure that it's still selecting the NVMe drive, my separate disk, and then I'm going to select my free space here. And now I'm going to create new partitions. So I'm going to create the first one, and this is going to be the separate EFI partition. I'm going to use 512 megabytes, file system FAT32, and then the mount point will be /boot/EFI, and then the label is optional, but I'll put in the label, call it Kubuntu EFI, check off the boot flag, and then OK. Go into the free space, create, and then next partition I'll create is for swap. I have 12 gigs of memory, so I'll do 12 gigs. File system will be Linux swap, and then the label, I'll just call it swap, and then the flags, swap, OK. Go back to the free space, create, and then the last partition will be for everything else. So for slash and file system ext4, mount point slash, label, I'll call it root. Okay. All right, so we see the new 3 partitions. Hit next. in this screen, put in your name, username, computer name, and password. And at the bottom here, it says login automatically without asking for the password. I prefer to put in my password each time, so I'm going to leave this unchecked and then next. And then here, it gives a summary of everything that's going to do. And after reviewing, hit install and install now. All right, and it's going to install at the bottom right. There's an icon here. You can toggle it just to see the logs, and you can toggle it again just to get out of it. And so this will take a little bit of time to install. All right, Kubuntu has been installed on your computer. You may now restart into your new system or continue using the Kubuntu Live environment. Now, as I'm dual booting, it should start up into Kubuntu and Grub, which is the default bootloader. But to make sure, I'm going to hit Done, which will restart my computer, and then I'll go into the BIOS. All right, so in my boot options here, boot option number 1 is the Windows Boot Manager. Boot option number 2 is UEFI OS. And boot option number 3 is Ubuntu, and it says Ubuntu instead of Kubuntu because Kubuntu is based off of it. It has installed it on my NVMe drive, but it's boot option number 3, and I'll have to change that so it's boot option number 1. And then I'm going to save changes and exit. All right, Grub comes up, and I got Kubuntu, and there's also as well as the Windows Boot Manager, and so I'm going to go into Kubuntu. All right, log in. And the Welcome to KDE Plasma screen comes up. I'm going to close it. And now I'm going to restart to confirm I can get back into Windows. All right, I'm at Grub, and I'm going to select Windows Boot Manager, log in, open up Disk Management. All right, on my NVMe drive, so there's the EFI partition for it, there's a swap partition, and there's the root partition. And so the installation media partition, I no longer need it, so I can delete this, and I'll have to do it in disk part as if I right click, the delete volume option is grayed out, so I'm going to do it in disk part, list my disk, and it'll be disk 0, select disk 0, list my partitions, and it's partition number 4, and then delete partition override. Going back into disk management, and we see it's been removed, and now I'm going to extend my C drive. Next, next, finish. So that's it. That's how you can install Kubuntu on a separate disk without using a USB drive or DVD. I hope this video was useful, and I thank you for watching. Bye now.